Hi there, welcome back to Ms. Johnson's ELA mini lesson. This is mini lesson number 18, and what we are going to talk about today is this thing called descriptive text. So you need your weather and climate magazine and you need your homeschool log, and we're going to get started. Here we go. So what we're going to be doing today as well is we're going to be looking very closely at the tropical rain belt. This is the text that we've been reading the past couple of days. So we know that this text is called an informational text. That's the genre of it because it tells us in the corner. And we've analyzed some graphic features that show us that it's a informational text with the graphs, the maps, the photos, and captions. Items like that kind of tell us that it's a informational text. What it also is called a descriptive text. So I'm going to get into what that looks like, and then we're going to go and find details and evidence that show all these different things to make it a descriptive text. So let's get started. All right, so there are four things that kind of make up the component of a descriptive text. So a descriptive text sounds exactly like what it is. It describes things. But there are four really specific ways that it describes things in an informational text. So the first one is using cause and effect relationships. So when you're describing something, you start with the cause, my alarm clock didn't go off, and then it leads to the effect that you were late for school. So it talks about how things connect to each other, whatever they're describing. And in our case, it's going to be all about the tropical rain belt and what causes what for the tropical rain belt and the effects that follow. So number one is cause and effect. Number two is called simple present tense. So this tells the action that is happening right now. So in the words and descriptions that they're using, they're talking about things that are happening right now and not in the past or not in the future. So an example is Sam is hungry. Using the word is the verb that sets it in the now. So when we're reading our tropical rain belt, we'll go find examples in our text right here where they use simple present tense verbs, meaning it's happening right now. All right? The third component is called comparative adjectives and adverbs. So when we're looking for words in descriptive text, what we're doing is we're looking for words ending in ER. This means they're comparing two things. So we have taller, larger, smaller, items like that where you're comparing one thing to a different thing and talking about which one's bigger or smaller. So words ending in ER are found in descriptive text. So when we're looking at descriptive text, we're not paying attention to the graphic features like we did yesterday. We're paying attention to the paragraphs, the structures, the sentences inside the paragraph, okay? And then the last one is comparing unfamiliar things to familiar things. So when we're looking at something that's really complex, like the tropical rain belt, what they'll do is they'll pull in references that we as readers might understand in order to kind of connect the ideas so we can understand further. So we have cause and effect, simple present tense, comparative adjectives and adverbs, words ending in ER, and comparing unfamiliar things to familiar things. So that is what makes a text a descriptive text. So now what we're going to go back and do is we're going to go back and look in the tropical rain belt, and we're going to look for all of these examples on how this is a descriptive text. So we're not looking at any of the graphic features like I said before. We're looking in the paragraphs and we're going to find examples there. All right, let's go. All right, so go ahead and open up to your close reading packet page, and we're going to read the directions. It says, in the tropical rain belt, the author uses descriptive text to describe tropical weather. Find text evidence for each text feature and complete the chart. Okay, so we are looking for the text feature, which is like up here, cause and effect, simple present tense, comparative, and comparing unfamiliar things. And then what we're going to do is we're going to find evidence of that in the text. We'll probably find about one piece of evidence for each one, and we're going to get started. So what we're going to do actually is we're going to skip the first one, cause and effect, for now, and we're going to go to simple present tense. We're going to go to simple present tense first because that's probably the easiest thing to find, and we're going to go back to our text right here, and we're just going to reread paragraph 1. As I'm reading paragraph 1, what I'm going to do is I'm going to underline the verbs that they're using. The verbs are the actions in the text, and we're going to figure out if it's simple present tense, if it's happening right now. So go ahead and turn to page 22. We're reading paragraph 1. Here we go. The tropics is the area along Earth's equator. The weather in the tropics is mostly hot and humid. This is mainly due to tropics receiving more energy from the sun than other regions. This energy imbalance circulates or moves around the Earth's atmosphere. Okay, so I underlined a couple of is's in those sentences. If you look at my text, the tropics is the area along the Earth's equator. So looking back at this anchor chart again, so it says, tells actions happening now. Sam is hungry. So typically when we're looking for simple present tense, we're talking about something is this. Very simple, short sentences using the kind of word is and making it in the present. So what I want you to do is go to your graphic organizer. We're on simple present tense. For evidence from the text, I want you to copy and paste the first two sentences in paragraph 1. So copy and paste. The tropics is the area along the Earth's equator. The weather is in the tropics is mostly hot and humid. All right, so go ahead and copy that and paste that into your text evidence from the text. Go. All right, just to kind of show you where we're at right now, what I did here is the example. So we're in simple present tense. I did quotation marks. The tropics is the area along the Earth's equator. And then I finished in quotation marks and I put paragraph 1. And then I just did the second sentence. The weather in the tropics is mostly hot and humid, quotation marks, ended with the paragraph. Okay? So that's kind of what I'm talking about with copying and pasting. You just copied the lines down that has the graphic or the descriptive text feature in it. Okay? Okay. I just took a look at our text, and what I actually want to do is for comparative adjectives and adverbs, I want to skip that part for today. I want to skip it, so just cross it out, and we're going to go to, okay, so we're going to skip comparative adjectives, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to cause and effect. So some cause and effect connections are going to be on paragraph 6. So go ahead and turn to paragraph 6 in your magazine. On page 24. Let's go. All right, so what we're doing is we're looking for cause and effect. What happens, something happens, and then there's an effect or a result that happens after it. So we're going to look for that right now. Okay, so I'm going to reread it, and I want you to look for cause and effect and see if you can find any. Paragraph 6. In the tropics, storms tend to be short in duration. They may not last very long, but they can produce intense rainfall. It is estimated that 40% of all tropic rainfall rates exceed 2.5 centimeters, 1 inch per hour. Greatest rainfall occurs when the sun is directly over the equator. This occurs twice a year, in March and September. As a result, there are two wet and two dry seasons. Okay, so what this paragraph is talking about is the rainfall, how long the rainfall is. And it talks about what the cause is. The cause of the rainfall occurs when the sun is directly over the equator. So that's our cause and effect. When the sun is directly over the equator, there is great rainfall. So that's what we're going to write for our cause and effect graphic organizer. We're going to write down that cause and effect. So here we go. So what I would like you to write down is the cause first. The cause of all the rainfall is the sun being directly over the equator. So write down the sun is directly over the equator. And then I think I'm going to do an arrow kind of like this right here. So I did the sun is directly over the equator. I'm going to do an arrow. And that causes the greatest rainfall. Okay, so we found the cause and effect. And then it also says, as a result, there are 2 wet and 2 dry seasons. So that's another cause and effect, right? The sun is directly over the equator 2 times a year, which causes the rainy and dry season. All right, so there's kind of a couple of cause and effects there, but this is just what you should write. Pause if you need it. Go. All right, and the last one we're gonna do is on the bottom right here, because remember we skipped this one. We're right here. It says comparing unfamiliar objects to familiar things. What we're gonna do is we're gonna find a really great example in paragraph 4. Go to paragraph 4, it's on page 23. Okay, the very first couple of sentences is where we're gonna compare unfamiliar things to familiar things. The tropical rain belt appears as a band of clouds. These clouds encircle the globe near the equator. They cause frequent showers and occasional thunderstorms. Okay, so our unfamiliar thing that we're talking about is the tropical rain belt. So I'm going to circle that. So that's the unfamiliar thing. Now what they're going to do and what they've done in our text is they've compared it to appears as a band of clouds. So circle band. And then they say these clouds encircle the globe near the equator. And we can actually see a picture down here. So what encircle means is it means go around. So here's our globe, right? And what the clouds do is they encircle. They circle around the globe at one part, which is where the equator is. So, and it's like a band or like a rubber band or a belt or something. And that's kind of why they call it the tropical rain belt, right? You wear a belt around your middle. The equator is the middle. So what they're doing in paragraph 4 is they are comparing the tropical rain belt to a band or a belt that goes directly around the middle. So what I want you to do is I want you to copy and paste the first 2 sentences from paragraph 4 onto your graphic organizer. Go. Okay, so what I had done is I had just copy and pasted the first 2 sentences. So it says, the tropical rain belt appears as a band of clouds. These clouds encircle the equator. And then I also put the paragraph number because that's where I copy and pasted text evidence, okay? So what is happening there is they take the tropical rain belt and they compare it to a band that circles around something. Or even the name of it is comparing it to something, right? They called a belt. Called a belt for a reason. Okay, that's it. All right, and we're going to answer the question on the bottom. It says, which of the following compares 2 parts of the world? So when you're reading the possible answers in this question, what you're going to do is look and see where are they talking about 2 parts of the world and where are they comparing them to? Where are they looking for what is similar and what is different? I think this one will be kind of easy for us. So go ahead and answer that. Go. And then log it on your homeschool log. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. That was learning learning all the different features of the descriptive text. We skipped one part because I didn't think it was really necessary and it was kind of hard for me to explain over video, which is okay, but we got to the other 3 parts, which is really important, all right? So that is it. Thank you so much. Tune in for the next ELA mini lesson. Bye. Thank you.